Right, hi everyone. We're going to go through question 3 now for paper 1 reading section. So they're going to give you a story, 5 questions about the story. Not that bothered about spellings and punctuation, but we are bothered about that you can understand what's happening and can pick out examples to back up your ideas. So now I'm looking at question 3, and I'm going to try questions 3 and 4 in this video. So again, we're looking at the first thing we've got to do is section it off, 26 to 48. So this is the one I had before, so this was 26 over to 48, which is over there. Thank you, exam, for making it easy for me by putting a gap there. So this is now question 3. What are we looking for? It says, how does the writer show that the city is threatening and oppressive? Now, if I'm not 100% sure about a word like that, I always think to myself, is it a thumb up word or a thumb down word? And I think everybody would agree there that it is a thumb down word. It doesn't make the city sound good. It's like a negative place. It's a bad place to be. So I'm going to start looking for things which make it sound like it's not a pleasant place to visit, this particular place. Any little clues? So going through it all. Outside in the shut window, the world looks cold. So I'm going to say that's my first one. That gives me a little bit of a clue. It says that it's not welcoming. Cold, like you don't want to be out in it, you don't want to be there. Down in the street, little eddies of wind were whirling dust and torn paper into spirals, and though the sun was shining in the sky a harsh blue. That's an interesting one. Blue skies are normally good, so for it to be harsh, which is a thumb down word, I'm going to suggest it's part of that. Those two are kind of linked together. It doesn't look like it's a very welcoming, nice kind of sky for everybody. There seemed to be no colour in anything except the posters that were plastered everywhere. So the posters were plastered everywhere, and that tells me that you can't really escape them. So can't escape them. Makes the city sound a bit oppressive, that you're being watched all the time, and let's face it, it does say Big Brother is watching you. So there's that sense that you can't be on your own, can't be free to do or say what you want to say. Let's see what else we got. The dark eyes look deep into Winston's own. So this is the dark eyes on the poster seem to be looking at him. So it's looking at him almost like it makes him sound like he's feeling guilty, maybe. Feeling guilty, I'll put that as a question mark because it could be. What else have I got? So I've got the one poster torn at one corner, flipping in the wind. So let's go and say Ingsoc, whatever that is. Don't know. In the far distance, a helicopter skimmed down between the roofs, hovered for an instant like a blue bottle. Well, that's quite negative, and darted away in a curving flight. It was a police patrol snooping into people's windows. I'm definitely having that. So, like a blue bottle, well, blue bottles are like flies. You don't want flies on your food or in your house. They're like a pest. And we got a negative feeling attached to those. I'm going to say swooping into other people's windows. Well, they're being spied on, aren't they, really? I think that's what we're saying there, being spied on. All of this is negative, and I'm looking at it and thinking I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different comments already. So this is coming nicely. And I've not even looked at the other side yet. But let's see what there is any here. Oh, what was this? Only the thought police mattered. The thought police. Now they sound a bit scary, if you ask me. But there you go. Well, let's put that in. How are you going to police people's thoughts? That's like inside people's heads. So that's kind of a scary idea, that people are looking at the way you think and trying to make choices about it. Right, well, let's get up here. The next one. Behind his back. Only way back. Pig iron over from the sound. The telescreen received and transmitted something. Any sound that Winston made above the level of a whisper will be picked up by it. Well, I might have that. Be picked up by it. Because it makes it sound like he's got no privacy. You can't turn it off, remember. It said that over here. So anything be picked up by it. Obviously remained in the field of vision, he could be seen as well as heard. Well, that kind of ties into that as well, so people can watch him. There was no way of knowing whether you're being watched at any given moment. So there's no way of knowing that you're being watched. So that gives me a sense of mystery there. You can't, and the fact that you can't relax, I suppose. Mystery, can't relax. Any moment, the thought police plugged in on any wire. It was inconceivable. They watched everybody all the time. But at any rate, they could. Well, that's all kind of like no privacy again, so I'm not going to bother with that. I've got that already. They did plug. You had to live, did live from habit that became instinct, in the assumption that every sound you made was overheard and every movement scrutinised, really watched closely. Well, that sort of, for me, suggests that they can't get away with anything. Couldn't get away with anything. So I've got now, if I look at my different comments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 comments there. So that's more than enough for me to get cracking on it. And I'm going to do what I did before. So I'm just going to say that it's 1.3 because it's question 3. I'm going to use the words from the question to start myself off. How does he show that the city is threatening and oppressive? I'm going to start with an overview. You don't have to, but it does, like I say, for me, it helps it get it clear in my head before I start finding examples to back up this first sentence. So I will do it. I'll say, the writer shows that the city is threatening and oppressive. Just use the words from the question. Get you started by showing how nobody has any freedom, and that's all I need to say, because everything now is going to rely back on that. He's going to go back into that. So I'll do a couple now just to show you, but obviously as part of your revision, take this, try them yourselves, getting different ones. I'll do the first one with you. So I'm going to say at the start, we always say at the start, it says, and then we put the spot in, the world looked cold. The world looked cold. And I'm thinking, well, what does that mean? What's another way of saying that? That's what my comment is. What am I going to say with that? Well, I'm going to say that the world doesn't look welcoming. If something's warm, it's like kind of, come on in, welcome in, it'd be great to see you. But cold is a lot more sort of stay back, keep back, not interested. So this suggests, the world is not a welcoming place. Right, what else did we say? The posters were everywhere. So then it says the posters were plastered. That's a good word. Were plastered everywhere, which suggests they're like all over the place. And that is what it means, which is why I'm going to say this suggests that it was impossible to escape them, to escape seeing them. And what I'm doing in my comments is trying to make it as clear as I can to my reader, because I'm not going to be there when the examiner reads this, so I need to make sure it's super clear. Okay, right, so we do that and we move on. Then it says Big Brother is watching you. So watching you. Now this suggests that people have no freedom, and so it goes on. That's all I'm writing is spot, comment, move on, spot, comment, move on, spot, comment, move on. Okay, you cool with that? So we're going to move into questions. So you carry on, you do a few more, and I'll show you that as well if you want to just stop the video or take a quick there's some of the things that I put down. They're my spot and my comments. I just have to put them, and then on the other side as well, I have to put those into full sentences. Okay, right, so quickly then, on to question 4. I'm not going to spend ages on this one because it's pretty much exactly the same approach. I'm just going to try and do some spot and comments on the sheet for you. Again, 4962 is the first thing that they say, so that's the first thing I do. There's 62 right there. That's going to be question 4. What does it say? What impression do you get of Winston in these lines? Okay, so we're going to learn a little bit more about this guy Winston in these particular lines. That's easy enough, so I'll just read it through. Winston kept his back turned. What have we got to the telescreen? Well, if he keeps his back turned, he's probably wanting a bit of privacy, I would guess. That's what that kind of means to me. It was safer though, as he well knew. Even a back can be revealing, so oh my God, they're really kind of focusing on him. A kilometre away, the Ministry of Truth, his place of work, towered vast and white above the grimy ministry. So here, the ministry where he worked was only a kilometre away, so he works close. So he works close by. So it's only a kilometre. That's all right, we'll have that. This he thought was a sort of vague distaste was London. Oh, so he thought with vague distaste. Well, that's kind of, I don't really like it. That's what I'm getting from that. He doesn't like it. He tried to squeeze out some tribal memory. Well, if you try to squeeze out, it's taking effort. So it's effort to remember things. And he tried, so I'm wondering whether he's going to actually fail at this. Is he going to succeed or not? He's trying to remember, squeeze out a childhood memory. Anything, it's real, takes effort for it to happen. Well, there are always these vistas of nice in houses, houses with timber, windows with cardboard, roofs with iron, crazy garden walls sagging all directions, and bomb sites where the plaster dust swirled in the air and the willow herb straggled over the heaps of rubble, and the places where the bombs had cleared a larger patch and shot solid colonies of wooden dwellings like chicken houses. But it was no use. He could not remember. Nothing remained of his childhood. So nothing remained of his childhood. So he can't remember, is the short answer to that, I think. So can he remember? He tries to squeeze out a memory, but he can't. He doesn't succeed, so he can't remember. A bright lit tableau. Now I know that a tableau is like a photograph, because I remember that in drama. So it's when you do like, you actually have people sort of freeze. So there's no details really, no background and mostly unintelligible. You can always have that as well. It means kind of the same thing. No details. Right, so once again, I've got my spot comments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spot comments. We can get them in there. Oh, 6 with privacy. So have a go now at trying to write that one. Remember the overview, remember the spot comments, and see how you get on. Alright, we'll do the question 5 in the next video to talk it through for you. Alright, good luck.